Project 4s, we're back for a new video class. How is everybody doing? I hope isolation isn't too bad for you. Okay, now today's class is actually going to be about Trinity. Today we're going to focus on Trinity 5, and then on Thursday will be Trinity 6. Alright, now if you have done Trinity 5, or you're not doing Trinity, it's still important to do this because it's good revision of the grammar for Trinity 5. Okay? So we're going to start by having a look at some sentences. Alright? Let's see if I can get them all in the camera. Okay? Which way? Okay. So here we have 6 sentences. Alright? Now, to start, I would like you to pause the video and can you complete the sentences so that they're true for you. Okay? When you finish, play and we'll go through the sentences together. Alright? So pause now and complete the sentences. Right, let's have a look and see if your sentences are similar to mine. So, I've got here for number 1, I prefer reading to sleeping. It's much more interesting. Okay? So, did you have a verb and a verb in ing form? Good. And here, an adjective. Excellent. Number 2. Why is football so important to me? Well, it's because my football team is my hometown. And because I don't live there, it makes me feel a connection with Bournemouth. Number 3 then. Since I was 4 years old, I have loved AFC Bournemouth. Love, love, love. So here was an age. Remember here, a past participle after have. Do you have the same? Good. Number 4 then. I've recently started video classes. I hope you're not all laughing at me when I do this. Okay? So again, I've started is present perfect for a recent event. Number 5 then. I've never been to Madrid. I've lived in Spain nearly 16 years and I've never been to Madrid. But yes, I want to. Again, after have, the past participle. And finally, number 6, I will never like Manchester United. Never. They are my enemy team, the rivals. Okay? So, did you have similar sentences to me? Or something completely different? Well, now let's try to think about these sentences with Trinity 5. Now remember, there are 2 parts to the exam. Part 1 is your topic, which you prepare and you talk about. This is about 5 minutes. Part 2 is the conversation, where you have 6 subjects for conversation and you talk about 2 of them. Who decides what you talk about in part 2? Exactly, not you, it's the examiner. Alright? Now in both parts, you need to use the language functions and grammar for your level. This level is Trinity 5. So, looking at these sentences, what grammar are we using that is connected to Trinity 5? Well, look at number 1. I prefer reading to sleeping. It's much more interesting. Here, we're using preferences and also expressions of quantity. In number 2, why is football so important to me? It's because blah 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 blah. Because is one of the language requirements for Trinity 5. Number 3, since I was 4 years old, I've loved AFC Bournemouth. Well, here is present perfect with since. Number 4 then, I've recently started video classes. Again, present perfect to talk about recent events. Number 5, I've never been to Madrid. Again, present perfect with never. And finally, number 6, I will never like Manchester United, is using will to make predictions and informing about the future. Alright, fairly simple? Okay, so let's look at each of the requirements one by one. Alright, if we rub this out. And we'll start with number 1, preferences. Okay, now to make preferences, there are 2 different structures we can use. The first one is I prefer to. Here we can use 2 different things. We can use ing, or we can use a noun. For example, I prefer reading to sleeping. I prefer football to basketball. Can you think of a sentence that's true for you using the noun? For example, I prefer dogs to cats. And you? Good, well done. Let's take my example then of I prefer reading to sleeping. Okay? Now the other structure that we can use for preferences is I'd rather than But with would rather, this is I would rather, we don't use the noun and ing like prefer. With would rather, we use an infinitive. Okay? So, with this example, I prefer reading to sleeping. How could we make this sentence with would rather? I'd rather read, the infinitive, than sleep. I prefer reading to sleeping, and I'd rather read than sleep have exactly the same meanings. We're just using different structures. At Trinity 5, you need to show that you can use and understand both of these structures. Okay? So, prefer with ing or a noun, would rather with an infinitive. Remember, when we use prefer, we use to. When we use would rather, we use that. Easy peasy? Yeah, totally. So the next one from our first list, all right, was much. Now these expressions of quantity, all right, for example, a lot or a lot of. Much and many. Remember, we could also use it in negative, not a lot or a lot of, not much and not many. Okay? Now, with these, what type of words can we use after? Okay, well, it's a lot, much, many, not a lot, not much, not many. We can use with a noun, but we can also use with an adjective. But be careful, with the adjective, we use a comparative. Okay? Think about my example sentence at the beginning. I prefer reading to sleeping. It's much more interesting. It's much more interesting is a comparative adjective. Now remember also with much and many. Look at these. There are not many students in my class. There's not much work to do. When we use a noun with much and many, we have to remember countable or uncountable. Okay? We use with much an uncountable noun, and with many a countable noun. Okay? So when we're using this in the exam, remember, when we're using these quantifiers, use a noun, uncountable or countable, or a comparative adjective. Okay? Now I know some of you have already given me your topics that I've given back to you. Can you think of a way to include this into your topic? Okay? Now, the next one is everybody's favourite, present perfect. Okay, now when we use present perfect, we use the structure have or has and a past participle. Okay. Now, in the exam, you need to use present perfect with ever, never, just, and since. Okay, so let's go through some example sentences for each of them. Okay, we use these to talk about different things. The first one, ever, we use in questions to mean in your life to now. For example, have you ever eaten a kangaroo? Okay. It means, if this is now, it means any time in your life from when you were born to now. Okay. Now I am 36 years old. So it means from 1983 to 2020, the 36 years from here to here. Okay? Have I ever eaten a kangaroo in my life? Yes, I have eaten kangaroo burgers, and they were delicious. Now, never we use with a normal present perfect instead of using a negative. Look at these two sentences. All right, I've never been to Madrid and I haven't been to Madrid. Are these the same or different, the meanings? Exactly, they're the same. I haven't been to Madrid is in negative. I've never also means negative. Be careful, because we never say I haven't never been. In English, a negative and a negative, no, it's not possible. Okay? So remember, present perfect to talk about our experiences in the past. Never we can use instead of the negative. Okay? Now just we use to talk about our recent experiences. Okay, this is now. Oh, the sun has come out. Look at that. So, this is now. And look at my example sentence. Okay. I've just explained never. When did I explain never to you? Exactly. It was very recent. So to talk about recent events, we use present perfect as usual, but we include just. Remember, just comes between have and the past participle. Okay? And finally, since we use, like this example, we use since to say from a time to now. Alright? Oh, that's reminded me you have to use for. Aha. So look at this example sentence. I have to hold it up on it. Yes, okay. So the example. I've been at home for 1 week. And I've been at home since the 16th of March. Okay? So, with these two example sentences, I've been at home for 1 week and I've been at home since the 16th of March. They both have the same meaning. It started in the past and continues now. We use for when we're talking about the amount of time. So from here to here is 1 week. When we talk about the time, we use for. The second one, I've been at home since the 16th of March, we use since with the start time. When did I start being at home? On the 16th of March, here. Okay? So we use for with present perfect for a period of time, how long, and we use since with present perfect to say when it started. Okay, fairly simple? Excellent. All right. The next one then, only 2 more, don't worry. The next one is to talk about the future. We use will or won't in negative, plus an infinitive. We use will or won't to talk about predictions in the past. So, when do you think we will open the academy again? Hopefully very soon. When will you go back to school? Hopefully very soon. Okay? Can you think of some predictions for your life in 10 years? For example, for me, I will live in Santalla. I love it. I don't want to leave. I won't have more children. I think 3 is enough. I will love my life. I'm quite an optimistic person. I love life. Okay? What about for you? What different predictions can you make for your life? Remember to try to put some predictions into your topic. Now the final language requirement is the easiest of all. Because. Why do we use because? Well, to give a reason for something. Okay? Why are we doing video classes? Because the academy's closed. Why are you doing Trinity 5? Because I enjoy doing exams. Why can't I talk to my friends? Oh, because they are in isolation in their house. Okay? So because is really simple, to give a reason for something. Look at your topic again. Anytime you give an opinion, can you use because to give a reason? Okay? That's all of the language requirements for today's class of Trinity 5. For those of you who are doing Trinity 5, can you please try to incorporate this into your topic and email me your topic to have a look at, okay? Remember, my email address is on the school website, all right? On Thursday, we'll look at Trinity 6. All right, guys, bye for now. I hope isolation's not too bad. Stay strong, people. Bye.